What is up, guys? Your boy Kagi, back at it again with a new video, and today we're interviewing the founders of Guild of Guardians. Today we have Derek, right? That's your name? Derek, do we have a last
Yes.
name here or just Derek?
Derek Lau. You can
Derek
just call me
Lau.
Derek.
Well, thank you, man, for accepting this interview. I appreciate it. I love to do these interviews because not only do I learn, but we also get information from the team directly, and I think some people don't like to read that much, and sometimes they just like the information like kind of fed, and I'm one of those people too. I like to watch videos, so welcome, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be here and engaging with someone who's so passionate about the gaming NFT space and community. So that's great.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I see a future, and this game, I'm telling you, man, the first time I saw the video, I was like, damn, it looks like it could be something, right? Obviously, it's a video. Anybody can do a video, right? Like that and
Yeah.
pull it out. But at the end of the day, if it was something, I said, if this is something that comes out like this, that explosive, it's a quick to play game, it's going to be a good game, at least in gameplay, right? But now we're seeing more information come out, and I'm going to start by asking you, what was your strategy from the beginning? Because you guys did go silent for a long time. You guys released your thing and then silent. And that was super interesting to me. And some people said, scam, not scam, we don't know yet. I was like, dude, if this is marketing, this is fucking great marketing. So
Yeah, I mean, let me take it back even a step further, right? So I'm part of Immutable, and we're the company that built Gods Unchained, which is a trading card game, as well as Immutable X, which is a layer 2 for NFTs. And so I actually joined 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago, with the goal of trying to add new games to the platform. And our vision was always really big. Like, we wanted to build a game that would be a breakout mainstream success. And so we actually started by just looking at what kind of game would make sense. And we spent a lot of time figuring out the answer to that question. We settled with kind of a mobile RPG. We can go into some of the reasons why. And we started working on that for quite a while, but we didn't want to announce anything until we had more to show. And so what we did was we released just a one-pager. It wasn't a super pretty website. It was just a quick and dirty website. Just released it with some rewards and to just see how that went. So at first it was pretty good. We got a couple of thousand signups, and then I think one day just went viral in some like Telegrams and YouTube and Discord channels and so on. And we ended up getting 100,000 plus emails in a very short period of time, which is amazing.
interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned mobile. I think I could tap into that real quick, and I think it's obviously mobile is one of the biggest markets out there. It's accessible. It's cheap. It's accessible because it's cheap. Anybody can have a phone, and obviously it's on the go. You can wake up and be playing. So that's super super cool, and yeah, and it's probably like the biggest market right now in terms of like the pie. I think it's bigger than anything else, right?
Yeah, it's bigger than PC, bigger than console. It's growing the quickest. We're super excited to build it. It's very accessible, as you said, right? And it's also the kind of market where you don't just have 1 to 2 games that dominate. So there are some genres or some PC games where 1 to 2 games dominate kind of most of the player base. It's pretty fragmented, and there's a lot of opportunity to break in.
Right. That's so true, man. In PC, usually that happens a lot, where a game breaks through and nobody can touch him, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that a lot. That's actually something that I'm kind of scared of because the blockchain takes money. So our community is so small, we can count people with our hands basically right now in terms of like the bigger picture, right? Like if we look at it from up top, it's like, okay, we're nothing compared to 100 million players in Call of Duty or WoW or whatever, right? So
yeah, it's super early still. I know the NFT space has gotten a lot of hype over the last like 4 months or so, which is very lucky for us. Like, I'm sure you've experienced a lot of growth in the last 4 months as well.
And I
But
hype
yeah,
it
there's
too.
a
I hype it a
lot of room
lot.
to grow. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot of room to grow.
I hype it a lot, but I always tell people, yo, this is a little bubble, like whatever. But whatever, people do whatever they want. Now, let's start with the main question. is there gonna be some type of free to play without buying the heroes, pets, or do we have to buy some heroes, pets, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the game, it will be free to play. So you can start off and play straight away. There are actually, so the way we do it is there are some things in the game that aren't on the blockchain. So there are some heroes that are on the blockchain, right? So you can just kind of start playing straight away. And then eventually you can work your way to blockchain assets, even if you don't start with any money.
Right, little by
So
little,
we wanted to
a
make it
little
as
bit harder.
accessible as possible. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit more of a grind, but there's a pathway. There's a pathway for that.
Yeah, I mean, you still start at the same area. You still start at the same level as someone who might have bought a hero. You're just starting with different heroes. So even then, the grind, so to speak, is very similar.
Right, but then you got the percentages like rewards at the end and stuff like that that do play in with the heroes and the other things like the guilds, badges, and all of that. In terms of like rewards, you can boost it up, but I don't mind it. I actually don't mind that at all. I think people need to understand this is a player-owned economy, and there's gonna be people they're gonna have more than you. This is gonna be simulating kind of real life where there are kind of like this welfare programs where they allow you to build your way up, right? And this is not necessarily the same, but that's just kind of how life works, and that's what we're trying to build in the blockchain, right? That's how I see it. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean the beauty of the blockchain is you can't stop people from doing stuff. So you can't really stop someone from buying a lot of things and in the game. And so that's kind of one of the features that we're working with.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let me jump into something that people don't understand too well, and is the tokens. Token distribution, I know is 20 million tokens in total between player rewards, community rewards, and early backers, which is private, kind of, a public sale slash, depending, I'm not really sure how you guys are going to do it there, but that means that's 30, 35, 65% basically player, and then plus 8.5% we could call it players too. That's like 70 something percent to the players that they own it. Obviously the community rewards, it's not like now you own it right away, or the player rewards, it's over time. How do you break down this token distribution? Do you think it's a fair distribution? This is for people to I think it's fair. But how do you tell people, this is fair because this, and that? How do you tell people that?
So when we designed it, we designed the token to be here for years, for a long time, right? And that's kind of one of the key principles. You can see that, as you mentioned, a majority, so way more than 50%, goes to players or community members. And that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure we had a large pool of tokens to do that, because we want the players and community members to be earning those. We're also doing initial distribution for anyone who buys in the founder sale. So anyone who supports us early, we're also going to give them some free gems as well. And we think that's a great way to kind of distribute tokens. We'll also have ways for people to get them for free by playing the game or by participating in the community. So we're pretty excited by that. I think if you compare to some other projects, we do have quite a large allocation for players.
Absolutely. Now, let's go to the free, because this is something that you guys released basically like a day ago. Yeah, 1 day ago. So 275,000 gems, right? Which is roughly 1.4% of the max supply is going to be free. I think the first third of the people, I read within the first milestone, we will reward 30% of the first third. Okay, so the first third, right? Those are the people that are gonna get the most. If you're in that like side of the first third, right? If you go ahead.
Do you want me to explain like basically how it works?
Please.
Okay, cool. Sure. So basically, there are certain milestones. So let's say like 100K, 200K, etc. And then once the community as a whole reaches that milestone, anyone who spent money to contribute to that milestone gets a share of tokens.
Okay.
So we have that, and so you have to have spent. The thing around the thirds is we wanted to make sure that people weren't just waiting until like 99,000 before deciding whether to spend. So if you are an earlier supporter, even within that milestone, then you'll get slightly more than if you like tagged in at the end.
Yeah, you want to create that rush where like, okay, let's go buy, let's get this going, right? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that makes total sense. You guys are geniuses, man. I like it. I like it. I like it. I agree with all of this. Look, I'm all for. I'm all for this. I'm all for this. In my channel, the people know this is you pay for your stuff here. This is if you want to play free games, you got Fortnite. Go play Fortnite, and that's it. That's how I see it. But okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that explanation. Okay, let's jump into utility of the gems. Of course, I have read the white paper. There's a lot of little details here, but basically, we're gonna have voting. We're gonna have staking, and then you're gonna change the system into like then play and stake, which is basically some proof of you playing. To be able to participate. It's not only like okay, I got tokens now. I'm the shit, right? I'm the best. No, you got to put the time in, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, like one feature of the token is the rewards pool. So effectively, how it works is that 20% of the money spent on NFTs in primary sales, kind of is paid for in gems and goes into a rewards pool. So you can think of like 20% of the game's revenue goes to a rewards pool. And that rewards pool is used to reward anyone who owns tokens. However, that you can't just hold tokens and not do anything and get the reward. You have to be active. And so the idea is you have to be active, engaging in, for example, voting at the beginning. And then later on, you have to be active as a player. And we even have an idea, which we haven't fully fleshed out yet, where potentially in the future, you can also delegate that work. So potentially you're delegating for someone else to play the game and be active for you, and they get a share of the reward, right? And so we think that'll be a cool, interesting balance there between people who might own a lot of gems, but not necessarily have time to play, and then the people who don't own any gems and really want to play and support these other guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I kind of understand that model. We've seen it in all other DAOs, where you can delegate your votes and stuff like that. That makes sense, of course. Let me ask you. I see here the utility within the game, other than buying and doing stuff like that, you can craft, which is something interesting because that's where like the actual utility for me comes in. The utility of buying stuff is not as big as something that you want to do in game, because sometimes I don't want to put in the time, and I'm okay with paying people that have grinded, and I'll buy their token so I can use it for me to craft a better weapon or better armor or better looking stuff, and just play a few hours without grinding as much as somebody else. But that's why there's play to earn, because that person grinded and I'm willing to pay, and some other people like me are going to be willing to pay that those tokens to those people that farmed it, and that's effectively like the play to earn part of the game. And then when I have those items as well, I can also sell it to other people that like me, or even the farmers that might be like, oh yeah, I want to, instead of crafting it myself, I'll go buy it from Kagi that already crafted it. So I play to earn as well there. There's another aspect there. So that's the idea here.
Yeah, I think when we think about NFTs, the economy parts are really important, right? So we've spent a lot of time thinking about how can we create a game where players have to engage with each other in the economy. In traditional games, you don't need to do that. You get everything by yourself because there's no trading. So the game developers give you everything you need to progress. But in this game, we want to kind of create more dependencies. How do we make it so that players can potentially specialize, right, and work on different things, and they have to trade to work together to progress? How do we do that within guilds? How do we do that across players of lower levels and higher levels? So everyone has their place in this kind of massive economy. And I think that's what gives the economy a lot of life, where everyone, if you think about the real world economy, everyone has kind of their unique role. And I think that's one of the concepts that we're trying to bring over to the game, where everyone can have their role in this economy.
Absolutely. It's literally, we're simulating a real life economy, and some people are going to have more than you, some people less than you. You're going to have different roles within a guild, within your friends. Like, that's how it should be. I'm all for that. Okay, let's jump into um. Okay, let's do this one real quick. You got share to earn. You got a little share to earn program, which is
Yeah.
get five. Can you go a little bit into that? I know it's pretty simple, but you know.
Yeah, it's inspired by just your normal referral programs. Basically, you give someone your code, and if they use it, they pay 5% less, and you also get 5% of the original amount. So it's kind of win-win for both parties. Is what we were trying to create.
Okay.
It's done through the smart contract, so all automated. As long as they're using your code, you can do it, and anyone can generate a code. So you could share your code, I could share my code. Yeah,
So you get
it's
it
pretty.
directly into your wallet.
Yeah, automatically directly into wallet when someone buys.
Okay, yeah, that's actually interesting because I actually never seen anything like that yet. I see more of more like traditional type of things. But okay, let me see. So we got guilds, founder cell. This is very important. Somebody, I was going into a discussion on Twitter with somebody. He's like, "Why do we have 100K guild?" And I haven't looked at the medium yet because I have so many things going on. And I'm like, wait, if there's $100,000 guild, there has to be a purpose behind that. And then when I look at it, it obviously makes sense to me. There's only 10 of the 100K. You want they're like the kings, right? Like the king guilds. You want to bring guilds that matter. You don't want to have many guilds of 50 people farming and not being organized. You want organization, and that gives a pillar to the game, right? So I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that. I understand that. So can you go a little bit more into those tiers so people can understand and get over this? Um,
Absolutely. So that we have 4 tiers of guilds, and the main difference between them is the number of members in, right? So they don't affect your individual progression. They don't affect your drop rates. Then it's the number of members, um, and and we also make it so the guild leader also kind of gets a share as well, and so the higher tier guilds, the guild leader also gets a higher share of crafting. Um, the highest tier guilds, so the mythic guilds, cost up to 100,000, which we know kind of causes a lot of controversy in the community. It's obviously a lot of money, but they're also very scarce. There's only 10 of them, and so one of the reasons they're so priced so high is also because they're so scarce. We don't want everyone to be able to get them. I want them to be very kind of prestigious. We expect the people who are buying them to end up as really big influences in the game community as well. So that's kind of one of the reasons we're doing that. And I can explain more about the crafting system if that makes sense as well in this context.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, cool. So the way crafting works in Guild of Guardians is we have something called guild crafting, which I haven't seen in another game before. So the idea is you can't actually craft blockchain items by yourself. You can get, you play by yourself and get common items, which you can play with, but those aren't on the blockchain. So in order to craft these premium blockchain items, you actually have to work in a guild. And so everyone contributes materials to the guild, and then the guild leader kind of selects what to craft. And so you craft this item, which then automatically goes to the market to be auctioned off and sold. And then once it's sold, the money from the sale goes back to the guild members based on your contribution. And the guild leader kind of for their efforts for coordination and for their leadership, they get kind of the first cut, which depends on the guild size before the rest gets split up.
Wow.
So that's kind of how it works. There's a lot of teamwork involved in that. And we're pretty excited to see how this plays out.
So okay, if you're a solo player, let's say I'm a solo player, right? And I
Yep.
get a few items. What do I have to do as a solo player to get my stuff done? Do I have to go to a guild for them to get them done, or I can do it by myself?
Yeah, we effectively push players towards guilds. We believe that's where the fun of the game is going to be, where you're interacting with all these other people, competing against other guilds and so on. You can always play it without being in a guild, but I would strongly encourage everyone to consider joining one.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
much harder. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be enough guilds? In terms, I haven't seen the numbers. I got 2,000 right here. 2,000 times 20, 200 times 30. Are you guys? What about the future? What if this game's
Yeah.
blow up, like super blow
Yeah,
up?
so we we have that as like a little disclaimer in our article, right? So
Okay.
I think that there will come a day, fingers crossed, where we have way too many players and not enough guilds, and right. We hope that everyone hopes that's going to happen, and so when that happens, then we will need to release new guilds because that guilds are a core part of the game. We haven't decided on the exact thing we would release. Our goal would to be never to sell the identical things that people are buying in the founder sale. But we may release new guilds. We haven't decided on the mechanic either. Maybe we don't sell them. Maybe people have to earn them through something as well. So this but we will set the expectation, however, that once the game gets big, we will need to release more guilds.
Absolutely. Even you can even like add a feature where a guild of 50 can pay like an extra amount, and expand too. Like you can do variations, like sell some spots.
I imagine this is one where, and we put this in the article. We'll get community input as well, because I think by that time we'll have a lot more information. People have a lot more sense of how the game works and a lot better idea of the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's go into pets and the actual heroes. Okay, the pets, I didn't know about them until like recently. They do give you pets and energy boosters. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So these are NFTs that you can buy in the founder sale. A pet is simply something that you can bring into dungeons with you, and it will give you a small boost to the reward. So it could be extra crafting materials. It could be a slightly higher chance of getting an item, or kind of more hero shards, which are used to summon heroes. That's the idea of them. They don't stack, so you can't buy 100 pets and bring them all in and be getting all these rewards. So it is one per kind of battle. Energy boosters are similar. So basically like most team RPG games, there's an energy mechanic where in order to enter the dungeons, you need to spend energy. And so effectively, these energy boosters allow you to effectively play with heroes more each day. And again, they don't stack either. So you can only have one. You can't just buy 10 you can't just buy a lot and get infinite energy. It's designed to be one per account.
Okay.
And they're not temporary. We get that question a lot. They're called an energy booster, which might not have been the best name, but they are permanent, so you do keep it forever.
Also, once you have an energy boosters, it allows you to go into a dungeon. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the way the game works is energy is used to enter dungeons, right? And in order to kind of encourage users to have a diverse roster of heroes, if you use a hero too much, then it gets fatigued. Something what we call fatigue, which is either it'll cost more energy or the stats will decrease. And so it's hard. You can't just repeatedly use the same hero. It encourages you to have a wider roster. So the energy booster allows you to get around that, where you can use that hero without fatigue more. So if there's a particular hero that you want to kind of level up more, then kind of use the booster on that. And so the booster is a token that you just keep in your account. So it's not like a one-time use. You can as long as you own it, you keep using it. You don't want to use it anymore, you can give it to someone else, sell it, do whatever you want with it.
And let me ask you, how many times can you use that energy in one day? Let's say my hero is fatigued. I use it. I fatigue him again. How many times can I use my energy in one day?
We haven't finalized the numbers, to be honest. So okay. I think all we can say right now is that it's not going to be game breaking. So it's not like if you don't have an energy booster, you're going to get significantly behind.
Okay.
It'll give kind of a slight boost, right? But for the kind of more hardcore players, that boost will kind of add up over time.
Okay, interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out. And thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. If you guys don't have it on lockdown, you guys don't have it on lockdown. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I something very interesting, like the different types of pets. The workers provide passive generation of crafting resources. Scouts increase dungeon item drop chance. That one's pretty OP. But then we got increased dungeon completion rewards. Those are the two, man. All of them are good, actually. All of them are good. Those are pretty balanced, actually. They all are gonna be needed. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And there's different tiers. Let's not go into it too much. I think we could leave all of this information below. People also
Yeah.
can take a look at all the details. And I think the last thing we can talk about here is the heroes. The heroes, yeah, which is the main character of the game. If you can, give us a
Yeah.
little insight into the heroes and.
Yeah, so the heroes, or the guardians, as we call them, they're the star of the show. Uh, so I think the first thing to know about them is the heroes are kind of unique characters. So a bit like League of Legends or Overwatch characters are kind of all unique. They look unique and they have the kind of their unique weapons. It doesn't matter what you equip on them; they still look the same, right? Even though their stats might change. So that's kind of how to visualize them. So heroes are used to play the game. In order to battle a dungeon, you send in a team of 4 heroes. And then so the idea of the game is kind of you have this roster of heroes, 4 or more heroes, and you kind of use them to battle dungeons. They get stronger over time. You can equip them. We have 4 different rarities of heroes. So it goes common, rare, epic, legendary. The common heroes aren't on the blockchain. And so these are the ones which players, like the free-to-play players, can get and start with. Everyone can get them.
Okay.
And then we have heroes at other tiers. There's also a mechanic kind of called merging as well, which is the idea of if you have multiple heroes of a particular rarity, you can merge them to get a random hero of a higher rarity. So say you have a bunch of common heroes, you merge them to now make a rare hero, which is now on the blockchain. Or you have a bunch of rare heroes, you merge them to create a random epic hero to kind of upgrade that.
That's kind of cool, actually.
There's a kind of a unique mechanic we have there.
I like that. I always said in games that are like RPG, well, the ones that are on the blockchain, to allow players, if I have like an uncommon weapon, and I want to go into a dungeon, and the dungeon is pretty hard for me, but I don't have the money, I haven't gotten the chance to get a better weapon. At least let me upgrade my uncommon weapon to a level where it gets to almost base level rare, right? So it touches like the base level rare. So that kind of like gives me that idea where you can like put that together and be there. That's kind of cool. I like that. Let me ask you about the classes. You got mage, ranged, and melee. Does that mean when we buy heroes, do we get random classes?
So when you buy heroes in the founder sale, it's random.
Okay.
What you get. So so you can buy legendary, epics, or rares. So if you buy legendary, you're guaranteed a legendary. If you buy epic, you're most likely going to get an epic, but there is a small chance you get a legendary. If you buy a rare, you could still get a legendary as well, but again, that chance is even smaller.
Okay.
There's also
there's
also chances to get chromas, which is kind of like a skin, a different cosmetic skin of the hero, and you can get that applies for any hero that you're buying, but it is random, so you don't know what class of hero you're going to get.
So there's no weapons here; it's classes.
Yes. So the classes in the game, the way it's currently designed, is that it simply affects the equipment you can use, but there's still going to be more variants of playstyle. So it's going to be deeper than that. You might have kind of like healers, tanks, different roles within each of the classes, but the classes just affect kind of the equipment.
Oh, interesting. Hey, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the game. I like the little game. One thing I really do want, I please, this is the only thing I want personally. This is a personal request. I know
What is it?
I'm not a god or anything, but add a gamepad. If you add the gamepad where you can actually connect, the actual thing here, it's going to be way easier for people to play, man. I think a lot of games miss that. So how many people hate the little thing and they're like, I can't play that much because of the fingers. Like, I that's the only reason I don't play mobile games. It's incredible that most of the mobile games, they miss that point. Why not add the support of the gamepad? Even Apple has, like, if you obviously you're gonna build for Android and for all of them. But, but Apple has, their own custom one, so it shouldn't be that hard, I guess. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm talking crap.
I'll pass that on.
For sure.
So someone can look at
that. Yeah, man. Hey, man, thank you so much for doing this interview. I appreciate it. I'm honored to to have you and for you to give me your time and bring this to
Yeah,
the
it's good to
channel.
be here. Good to chat for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for being so bullish on the gaming NFT community. You know, no,
Yeah, some
no
people don't
NFT.
like me. Hey, man, I'm too bullish. I say this game is better, the other one is trash. This is that. Like whatever, man. It is what it is.
Yeah,
It's my opinions, but I really do like this game. I really wish it success. I know Gods and Chain. Well, Gods and Chain, right?
yeah. That's kind of the other game that my company is working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one, personally, I don't like because I don't like card games. It's not nothing against it. Nothing. No, I just don't like card games. I want to play
yeah.
action, baby. you know.
Yeah, everyone has their own style. Absolutely,
All right, man.
absolutely.
Thank you so much. I'll see you very, very soon. And let me stop the recording right here so we can end this.